serving them a scalpel. You looking at me, do I know?
We're losing adrenaline now.
You'll never amount to anything, Karen.
Everybody clear! You scum!
We've lost him.
Now, Christmas is quite literally around the corner, and the cheeky, spoilt little brats amongst you may well be getting big, shiny new PCs. Of course, that's where the problem begins, because the instruction manuals that come with them are the most difficult things to understand since the 1885 All-England Difficult to Understand Championships. That's why we've called today's event PC Impossible.
I know most of our viewers are well below average intelligence, but even so, I'm amazed by the number of queries I receive from hapless PC owners driven to distraction by their failure to get games working on their machines. Many of them blame the machine or the manuals. So I decided to put it to the test by calling on our celebrities to set up a brand new PC and get a game running on it by the end of the show. Frankly, if they can't do it with their celebrated intellect, what hope is there for our moronic viewers?
Now, normally we don't like to run the risk of testing celebrities' intellect and problem-solving abilities. Today, though, we are going to make an exception, so please welcome two of the country's smarter soap stars, Patsy Palmer and Dean Gaffney. Now, Dean, your character in EastEnders, Robbie, basically bad lad, bit of a delinquent. Does that lead to any problems for you in the real world?
It can do when I'm out and about with my friends. People think I'm the real Robbie and they lock up everything in sight, really. Yeah, lock up their doors.
Do you think you're trying to nick stuff from shops at all?
I went into, I go to a couple of shops around the area and people say, "Are you going to pay for that, Robbie?"
And what about Wellard, the dog? Any problems with that on set, or does he
No, he seems fine, yeah. He's very funny. He is actually a she.
Oh, it's a she? I beg your pardon, I've never actually looked that closely, actually. We haven't had that particular camera angle on EastEnders yet. Patsy, I've never made any secret of the fact. I find you ravishingly attractive. I quite fancy you. Do you find that you get a lot of blokes hitting on you? Perhaps not in quite such a charming way as myself, but
no, not really.
Why not?
I don't know.
Do you wear that dress when you go out? I like it.
Sometimes.
It's nice. How many curtains did it take to put that one together there? And finally for you, Patsy, you have been involved with many blokes in EastEnders, your character. I mean, who's the nicest?
David Wick, I think.
Okay, doesn't exactly do it.
Very handsome.
But he's a very handsome bloke. And obviously this is quite an intellectually demanding challenge. You've got to get your PCs together and get the game running. Do you feel confident, Dean?
Kind of.
Uh-huh.
Kind of.
Not quite convincing me,
No, not really, no.
I don't.
And Patsy, you're not confident?
No.
At all? Okay, well, we better get cracking as soon as we can, and if you'd like to follow me down to the playing area, we'll get ready to start. The first thing our two competitors will have to do is assemble their computers. We've made it easy for them, and the computers we've given them come with the base unit and monitors already connected. They've just got to connect the mouse in here, and the keyboard in here, and plug the computer in. Hey presto, stage 1 completed, and they'll be ready to load the game, and that's where the problems will really start. Okay, so Dean and Patsy, these are your PCs, this is the game, we need you to get them all up and running. I would ask you at this point, could you put on those lovely gold earmuffs, because we will be divulging certain information throughout the show, and we wouldn't want you to hear it, because that would be cheating, and cheats never prosper. Remember that at home, kids. Okay then, if you'd like to get started then, if you can hear me under the earmuffs, 3, 2, 1, off you go. Now from now till the end of the show then to get the PC up and running and get Mech Warrior 2 to work. It's the top selling PC in Britain and one of the top selling games as well. And helping me out doing this and maybe lending little bits of advice to Dean and Patsy if they really do need it, is a man who spent most of his life wrapped tightly in cables, Kirk Ewing. Kirk, What's going to be the first problem they're going to have?
Well, first problem they have, and actually they've done very well. I expect them to have some problem with the sticky tape around the boxes there, because they do use industrial strength tape in these computers. But they've done very well on that. I would say follow the instructions, use your wits, and pray to the twin gods of Intel and Bill Gates for some inspiration there.
Okay, Dean's spinning around the back here just now. He's slightly ahead at this point in time.
It's too heavy.
Would you like to step in and give Patsy a little hand there?
No problem.
As well as being a large, hairy man, Kirk is also very, very strong. The strength of 10 oxen. Thank you very much, Kirk. Okay then, before Kirk Ewing exerts himself a little bit too much, we're going to leave Patsy and Dean there and take a look at today's reviews. First up, a living testament that, in spite of tabloid scaremongering, fighting is good for you, with Criticom on the PlayStation.
It uses the same 3D aspects that Toshinden uses, where you can roll out of the way, you can zoom in and out of the screen, not just like any old 2D beat-em-up, but it moves very sluggish indeed. The gameplay seems like you're just controlling two lumps of rock at times.
In Criticom, you get to play with 8 different characters, and the way it operates is you have to beat each character and a boss to progress through the ranks. There are 3 ranks in all. I enjoy it, and if you enjoy a good 3D beat-em-up, I think you will be impressed.
To be honest, Dave would play with a dead cat if it had the words beat-em-up written on it. I don't think Criticom is as good as Toshinden or Tekken, and for that reason alone, I wouldn't buy it.
Next up, High Octane on the Saturn. It looks like Wipeout, it tastes like Wipeout, but does it smell like poo?
High Octane is a space race extravaganza, very much in the same mould as Wipeout. It has cars of the hover variety, and it has tracks that you race around. And seeing as Wipeout isn't going to be out on the Saturn for some time, it's worth having a look at High Octane.
High Octane can be played from 4 different viewpoints, and there are 9 different tracks in all in the game. Also, unlike Wipeout, there's a 2-player split-screen mode, so you only need 1 copy of the game and 1 Saturn to play. This has got to be good news for console players.
Okay, so far Patsy Palmer and Dean Gaffney are doing quite well. They've both got power on. Who actually got power on first, Kirk?
Dean actually got power on first, but after a bit of just sort of basically forcing any cable into any hole at the back, he realised that something was not happening with his keyboard, so he switched the computer off and he's restarted it again. Patsy did extremely well, seemed to get everything plugged up, but somehow Patsy hasn't made it into Windows, which is a bit of a disappointment, whereas Dean is full-on Windows heavy.
Okay, this is obviously stuff that everyone goes through whenever they buy a PC. Have you yourself been through these problems?
I've been down these routes many times, and quite frankly, it's a pain in the
posterior.
Yeah.
Okay then, at the moment we look at Patsy's awash with manuals and everything. This is the only tips we have given them for this. Of course, we've given them the manuals, but trying to understand them, of course, is an entirely different matter. So we're going to leave them cracking at this, and we're going to take a short break. Coming up, we're going to see if they're going to finally manage to get this game loaded before the end of the show. All this coming up after the break. Welcome back. We have 2 young soap stars with us today, Dean Gaffney and the ravishingly attractive Patsy Palmer. They've taken part in PC Impossible, an event where they have to put a PC together and get a game to run on it before the end of the show, and they're struggling. While they struggle though, let's go over to Gamesmaster and find out what today's challenge is.
For today's challenge, I've selected the Doom-style PC shoot-'em-up, Duke Nukem. Each of our 3 contestants must make their way to the end of the level and blow up the canister they'll find there, with the player who does this in the fastest time taking the golden joystick. All is not as simple as it looks, though, as contestants must avoid not only the robot adversaries they'll encounter on the way, but also a number of lurking laser beams that will fry them instantly if they stray into their path.
And making a desperate bid for glory on Duke Nukem, we have Julian Luton, Michael Triquare and Samir Agarwal. All right, Julian. All right, Michael. All right, Samir. Okay, right, a lot of people are under the misapprehension that people who play video games don't have girlfriends. Of course, I've got a fantastic amount. And Julian, you've got a girlfriend as well, yeah?
Almost.
Almost?
She's in China.
Right, so how long have you been there for?
Knocking on a year.
Have you been over there to see her?
Nope. Written a few letters, yeah.
How many?
4.
4 letters in a year.
Yeah.
I reckon you're going to split up, actually, when she comes back.
Oh, thanks, Dominic.
That's all right. I try to, like, settle the contestants before they play. Because you've actually been dumped, haven't you, Michael? By your girlfriend,
Just reminded me about that.
Yeah, why was that?
Well, I went out with my mates and told her I was staying in and watching Emmerdale Farm. And she was in the club I was in and she weren't too happy.
So she dumped you?
Yeah.
Because you're watching Emmerdale Farm, probably. And finally, Samir, you don't have a girlfriend at all. Which is surprising, because you're quite a fantastically dressed young man, I have to say. What do you look for in a woman then, Samir?
Anything.
Anything at all? A man after my own kind of thinking. Okay, right, Michael, you're going to go first because we suspect you might be rubbish at this, actually. So while we make that Michael's bum and challenger seat connection, we'll keep abreast of today's news. And the biggest news of the moment is our competition. So grab a pen and paper now. Yes, to celebrate next week's Christmas special, featuring a look back over 5 series of Gamesmaster, we're giving away 5 Sony PlayStations and 5 Sega Saturns, each with the 3 biggest games on that system. The Saturns come with Virtua Fighter 2, Sega Rally, and Virtua Cop with the gun, while the PlayStations will be accompanied by Tekken, Doom, and Ridge Racer. To win one of these fantastic prizes, you'll need to enter the mind of Dominic Diamond and guess what is my favourite game of all time. To make life a bit easier for stupid people, we've hidden my #1 game amongst 5 of my general favourites. We kick off with Championship Manager 2. Is this my Glasgow Celtic of games? Next up is Wipeout. I've said it was my favourite console game this year, but was I lying? Super Bomberman 3 has wasted far more of my time than is strictly healthy. Could this be my #1? You know I like women and football, but is sensible soccer the ultimate love of my life?
That's a lovely pass.
Then again, I do like a fight and I'm quite hard when I take off my glasses. Has Virtua Fighter beaten up the rest of them to become numero uno? We'll pick 10 people at random who guessed my favourite game and they'll win either a PlayStation or a Saturn with 3 games. To enter the competition, simply call 0891 114400 and follow the instructions. Calls will cost you no more than 39p, but you've got to get permission from the bloke who pays the bill. The competition closes at midnight tonight and the answers and winners will be announced in a couple of weeks. In case you're thick, we'll give you the number again at the end of the show. Michael, Julian and Samir are about to play Duke Nukem on the PC, and PC review boy Rick Henderson has helped me out. Rick, what's the toughest thing about this challenge?
Well, generally they can just rush through the level. They've got to get to the end as fast as possible, but occasionally they'll meet little red lines, they're lasers, and they've got to slow it down slightly, duck or jump over them, or they'll get a nasty scar on the midriff.
And you don't want that, Rick?
No, you don't want that.
At all. Okay, thanks for that just now, Rick. Right, we're going to have Michael going first. Whoever can get to the end of the level, past all the bad guys and blow up the canister in the quickest time will get the joystick. Best of luck, Michael. Your time starts now. So off goes Michael. One thing to bear in mind is health in the bottom middle of the screen. That's at 100 just now, but it will go down if you can't see any bad guys. So it's over the first 2 lasers, Rick.
Yeah, he's had to jump over the second laser and duck under the first one. Just ignore the bad guys. That is the best tip for the first half of this challenge.
Okay, so to do this, we go for 80 seconds. A good start, Rick.
Yeah, it's a very good start. He's done exactly what he should do. He's got to kill these guys, or they might actually push him into that laser.
Okay, oh, they're all behind him. They're all over him. And 29 seconds gone. It says pinched by the doors at the top there. I'm not sure quite what it is, but I'm sure it was a lot of fun.
He's going to have to switch on the lights so he can actually see what's happening.
Okay, lights are on. Oh, but he's right in the laser. He only lasted 39 seconds. Michael's challenge is finished. Let's make way for Julian. Okay, Julian, your time starts now. And off goes Julian once again, a healthy bottom skin. Here's the first 2 lasers here, Rick. What's he got to do?
Yeah, he's actually got to duck under the first laser and jump over the second one. What Michael did is he did this part absolutely perfectly, but he did...
Oh, no, I'm sorry, I have to drop you there because after only 12 seconds, Julian has completely blown it. He's got to make way for Samir. So, Rick, that wasn't the best performance we've ever seen now.
No, he forgot that it's actually running a little bit quicker than normal because it's actually running on a Pentium, and he just barneyed straight into the laser, there's no doubt about it.
Okay, then we'll see if Samir can do any better. I certainly hope he can. Samir, your time starts now. Of course, Samir, the time is actually going to be quite irrelevant because all he has to do is complete it, basically. Safely over that second laser there.
He's doing extraordinarily well now. Ignore those bad guys, go up the stairs, ignore these ones. Go through the door. He's got another door coming up, and straight after this, he's got to shoot everything in there.
Some more bad guys just behind him, but that doesn't really matter. But these guys do matter, Rick.
These guys do matter because if they get behind you, they'll push you straight into that laser.
Okay,
you
so
don't want
turn on the light. The light is on. He's going to jump over this. Now, this is where Michael mucked it up.
You can actually see the grenades that he's got to collect. Down in the bottom corner.
Yes.
He hasn't got the grenades yet. He's got to go back slightly and get those grenades.
Okay, he's got the grenades now. He's got to block the canister. He's nearly done it. There's some bad guys there. What's he doing, Luke? What's happening?
He's throwing bombs at himself.
What's he? He's thrown the bomb. Is it going to block the canister? Yes, it has put up the canister. Samir has done it in 43 seconds. Well, listen, we spent a lot of money getting all you guys in, and Julian, you completely trousered that one. Excuse, please.
Well, some of us win computer games, and some of us have beautiful girls in far-flung corners of the globe. What can I say?
At the moment you do, until she comes back. Anyway, Julian. Michael as well, you did actually better than we thought you were going to do, but still pretty poor.
Yeah, I was doing all right until I started thinking of my girlfriend again, Dominic, and I just went to pieces.
Okay, finally, Samir.
You can call me Aggie.
I can call you Aggie?
Yeah, that's what everyone calls me.
Well, technically I can call you whatever I like, because it is my show. But I will call you Aggie as you like, seeing as you have one. So, Aggie is the winner of the Gamesmaster Golden Joystick. So let's another round of applause there, please, for Julian, Michael, and Aggie. Now we get on to the really tricky bit of this event, loading the game onto the computer. Thank you. Like most new PCs, this one comes with the operating system Windows already installed. When you switch it on, up it comes, and that's the first problem, because most PC games won't actually run inside Windows. So the first thing Dean and Patsy will have to do is exit from Windows like this. The game Mech Warrior is on a CD, so the next step is put the disc in the CD drive. We select that drive by typing D: and pressing enter. The manual tells them to do this, so they shouldn't have to figure it out for themselves. That would normally be that, except we've played a bit of a trick on Dean and Patsy. The game is too big to run on the computer's normal memory allocation, so when they load it, all they'll get is this. They'll need a boot disk, which helps the computer reorganize its memory so there's enough space for the game. To make one, take a blank disk, stick it in the A drive and press return. Right, now we have our boot disk. We turn the computer off and turn it on again with the boot disk still inside. This tells the machine to clear space straight away for the game. After a short wait, when you can stand around looking pretty, Mech Warrior will be up and running. If Patsy and Dean manage to do all of this, I'll grow a moustache like Ian Beale. Okay, I've made it back down to the area, so basically I'm going to pull Dean's headphones off a little bit here. All right, Dean, how's it going?
It's not going very well. I don't understand it.
You've got the instruction manual for the game there. What sort of problems are you having?
If I can read this, it says here, at the DOS prompt, type D and press enter. But it says C, not D.
Slightly problems there, Kirk. Can you give a slight clue there then, Kirk?
Well, the slight clue would be that he's actually not reading number 3 properly. If he just looked at it very closely and typed exactly what it said to type, then he might get on a wee bit quicker.
Okay, has to be more literal. He's got that. Okay, headphones back on for Dean and he's on with it. Patsy, let me just take these lightly and seductively off your ears. Oh, sorry, am I pulling your hair there? Did I pull? Is it stuck to your hair? Oh no, so I've basically got no chance of pulling my hair. How are you getting on there, Patsy?
Well as I thought. I've not even started it yet.
So is it actually as difficult as you thought this would be, or is it more difficult?
More difficult.
Yep.
Yeah.
Kirk, any tips for Patsy then?
Well, Patsy, I mean, she's actually found the right manual now, which was a bit of a problem. She was, I think she was reading something for DOS 6.2 earlier on, but she's got the right manual now. If they follow the instructions letter by letter, they shouldn't have any problem. But
okay, we'll save it that. Right, Patsy, if you'd like to put your headphones back on, I hope it doesn't rip too much of your fine flame hair out before the end of the show. All right then, so about 4 or 5 minutes. Oh, that was Robbie there. Robbie's got the game installing at the moment. Now the next problem he's going to have though, Kirk, is
a memory problem.
Okay.
This game is not going to run under sort of standard memory, so he's going to have to make a boot disk actually and run it off the boot disk, which is going to be, well, I would say, pretty tricky for him.
Because we don't know that Dean and Patsy might not know what a boot disk is.
I would say they've got no idea what a boot disk is.
Okay then. So at the moment, Dean is much closer to what we want than Patsy is. We're going to have about maybe 3 minutes left until we have to wrap things up, and while they're doing that, we're going to take a look at today's feature. If you're worried about the problems Patsy and Dean are having, then don't, because Microsoft reckon they've got all the answers with Windows 95. Unfortunately, they've dragged us out to Seattle in the middle of the night when it's minus 10 degrees centigrade to show us.
Windows 95 is the software that's intended to make using your PC that little bit easier. Unlike, say, all PlayStations, all PCs aren't the same. They can have a different amount of memory, sound cards, all kinds of stuff. In the past, to get a piece of software or a new joystick on your PC, you've needed to know all about the makeup of your particular computer. Basically now, most major software and hardware manufacturers are making their products compatible with Windows 95, meaning you can just plug it and play. Like this example of fine Freudian joystick action.
Okay, this is the Exos Power Stick. It's going to cost about $139 when it's released later on in the year. What it does is it reacts to everything that's happening in the game. So if you're playing Doom like this, you'll get recoil from all the guns and everything like that. It's very good, it's very effective, but the best thing about it is, if you take your hand off it, then it will still move automatically. So you can also get quite a nice massage off it, I reckon, if you kind of put your shoulder blades behind it.
Fat Boy here helped write the new operating system, which meant he was allowed to bore me with a sales pitch.
So tell me, Alex, how is Windows 95 going to change the face of PC gaming?
There's a huge market of people who are buying PCs who want to be able to play great entertainment. It's just not accessible to them under DOS. So what we think will change with Windows 95 is now that we've made it installing a game and configuring it as easy as inserting a CD, and we've made the technology, the direct technology, that will make it possible for games not only to run as well as they would under DOS, but actually run substantially better. We think that that's going to open up the entire PC market to game players everywhere.
Now we're going to find out exactly how quick Windows 95 is. This is the deadlifts encounter. It's everybody's nightmare if you've got a PC. It needs 8 megabyte RAM, double-speed CD-ROM drive, it's got full motion video, everything like that. This would take you ages and ages to work out how to load on a PC. We're going to see exactly how quick it takes using Windows 95. 25 seconds gone, the screen's gone black. Coming up to it, and there you go, there's the start, there's the logo. 28 seconds to get Tia Carrera. That's a lot longer than it would take you if you were in the pub.
Yes! Great, it works.
So there you go, proof of how Windows 95 could speed up the whole PC gaming process. The only thing is, couldn't they have told us this in California? Right, we're going to give Dean and Patsy, a matter of seconds left before we're going to have to stop them. It doesn't look like they're going to do it, Kirk.
I don't think they are going to do it. Patsy's managed to install the game. Dean's also managed to install the game, but they didn't get as far as the boot disk, and there's still a big memory problem, so there's no way it's going to run.
Okay, thank you, Kirk. Right, it's time now to stop Patsy and Dean, okay? Right, to stop there, take off your headphones. Right, now, neither of you got to the actual game, but Patsy, you managed to get the computer up and running. Was that as difficult as you thought it would be?
Yeah.
Or more difficult even?
Yeah.
What was the big problem then?
I just don't know anything about it.
But do you don't think these things should be easy enough to understand?
Yeah, so they should be printed up on this when you load it in, I think.
On the screen?
Yeah.
Instead of having to go through all the dull manuals?
Right.
What do you think about that, Kirk?
Well, that's kind of what the Windows 95 is there for. It cuts out that DOS interface that people get so sick of, but you could always buy a PlayStation.
That's true, you could, instead of mucking around with all this PC stuff. I'll ask you this point, Kirk. How hard is this to do then in half an hour, would you say, to get the whole thing set up from not knowing anything about PCs?
Well, I would say, I mean, it's not Mensa hard, but it's obviously too hard for Dean and Patsy.
Okay, fair enough. Right, now, Dean, what was your problems as well? You were similar to Patsy in that you got the computer set up, didn't quite get the game to run. What was your biggest problem?
I don't know what it was. I think now I'll stick with my Mega Drive.
Yeah, that's a lot simpler. Probably a wise decision. Well, thanks so much for coming on. No golden joystick, because neither of you did manage to get the game up and running. We hadn't even gotten to the problems of sound cards and anything like that, Kirk. I must admit, I think you've been a bit too harsh. I actually think they did very well in the time, and I've always found this a problem myself, and I know everything. Almost. As well. But, okay, that's it. That's about all that we've got time for on this Gamesmaster. Remember that life is like using a personal computer. Sometimes it's about as user-friendly as a rabid pit bull. Goodbye.